Hello and welcome to the Islamic Finance Weekly. The 2022 Ramadan has been another interesting spiritual exercise for Muslim faithfuls across the world. It has provided an opportunity to reflect on society and how it is important to support efforts that lead to peace, stability, and development across nations. Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, faces an existential crisis ranging from socio-economic issues to the wave of insecurity. There can be no development in an environment that is prone to violence and instability. This special edition of the Islamic Finance Weekly program, which captures development in the non-interest finance market, will discuss Ramadan 2022, Achieving National Cohesion. I have on the show this morning Professor Tajudeen Yusuf, Professor of Insurance and Risk Management at the University of Lagos. He is also the president of the Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals, IIFP, Nigeria. Thank you, Professor Tajudeen, for joining us on the Islamic Finance Weekly, and good morning to you.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. It has been an intensive spiritual experience this period of the 2022 Ramadan fast. Please, as we wrap up the fasting for this year, how will you describe the current state of the nation?
Well, alhamdulillah, we thank Almighty Allah. The country is still struggling with all its pre-Ramadan problems, and we are praying that the future will be better. And if you look at it, Ramadan itself has a contribution to the economy in the sense that, because of the high demand for household items, food items, beverages, and a lot of the activities in the general merchandise sector, that's a contribution to Ramadan. And that's why we always experience high cost of foodstuffs at this period. There are refrigerators, there are storehouses with delicacies. And that's, for me, that's what we call the Ramadan economics, whereby more of activity like souvenirs are in high demand at this time because people exchange gifts. So in that sector, will be smiling to the bank. And not only that, Nigerian economy, as it was before now, it has been grappling with high inflationary trends. And this inflationary trend has had a serious debilitating effect on the purchasing power of an average Nigerian. We just hope that things can get better. And then because we remain consistently as a consuming nation rather than be a productive nation, most of the things we consume are imported. And because they are imported, we need to run after dollars. And that's why the exchange rate between the dollar and naira has been increasing, getting close to 500 naira to $1. That in itself is a serious problem that the government is yet to find a lasting solution. And what come to think of it, the lasting solution has to be a serious and strong political decision that the government has to make in order to get things right. And we need to diversify the economy. That has been the slogan for all administrations. We need to diversify the economy. Yet, oil still remains 80% contributor to our national income. Oil still remains 80%. So, and now that we are getting out of COVID, the effect of COVID on the production sector has not relaxed. The effect is still there because we rely largely on oil. It is not easy for the government to have enough income to cater for all the demands of the various sectors of the economy. So we can only hope. But as for Nigeria now, we are getting closer to election year 2023. That's in itself is having some effect, because now most of political office holders are busy trying to get re-elected or trying to get the favorable candidate to succeed them. So everybody's attention is turned towards electioneering campaign. All the political parties must bring forward, must conclude their conventions, their primaries, latest by the end of next month. So now there have been a lot of political activities in the country, which has been affecting the economy, because most of them are distracted from pursuing economic activities. It is now politics first before they now look at the economy. And that, for me, is just the way our economy is wired. In other climes, the fact that we are having an election in the next year should not be a problem, a distraction to the economy that affects all and sundry. Yet, we need to get the political solution first before we can be able to say, yes, the economy will have to improve, because you need political decisions to get your economics right.
I must agree with you, Professor Tajudeen. Nigeria's economic situation has deteriorated significantly, and to come out from these issues, we need good governance for the country. Thank you so much, Professor Tajudeen, for those points. With all the socio-economic challenges from high poverty rates and high unemployment, what should be the approach of the fiscal and monetary policy authorities?
The answers are intertwined in the sense that the socio-economic goes into the political decisions. Now, let's look at generating employment for the teeming masses of this country. It is largely the private sector. The government is supposed to make enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. And if the right atmosphere is not created, you cannot have people generating employment. Look at it for instance. Take a look at this for instance. If Nigerians are able to have the infrastructures in place, if there are infrastructures in place, good roads, electricity, telecommunication, and all these things are going on, are in good shape. Now, many Nigerians will be employed and engaged in some productive activity. But when you are still struggling with stable electricity, when you are still struggling with good roads, when you are still struggling with security, all these have their effect on economic activities. Because sometimes you feel, I cannot travel to the north to get goods by road because of insecurity. Then to go by air, that itself is a serious problem. The cost, more than 100% increase in airfare. Then you want to go by train. The recent bombing of the train between Abuja and Kaduna is there. I mean, it's scaring to any traveler. So that in itself is inhibiting intra-city traveling for economic activities. So I want to advise that the government should try as much as possible to get the prices of food items, let them get it right. There was a time the government was talking about going into the food store, where the food bank for the nation. They need to do something about that. They need to assure farmers to go to the farms and assure and guarantee them a security, because people will not go to the farms when they feel unsafe. So that in itself is a challenge. And then they need to push to support the productive sector. I want to say whereby the government will say those that are in the production sector, the real sector, that they give them maybe some kind of tax holiday, and the government will have to be looking for meet up its income need from other sources, so that we can have more people engaging in economic activities that will generate employment for our teeming masses. And for us, the option, the most, what I can call the hanging fruit for the country is in agriculture. Our land remains arable and fertile. There is need for us to get most of the unemployed youth engaged in agriculture. Then we should also look at ICT as well, because the world we live today is largely run on tech, digitalization. So government should do something in that area. As some of our youth who are tech savvy, they can be engaged, Some are even these Yahoo boys can be recruited for better venture. Them that your ingenuity is required in this sector, and then they can turn it, because technology is a double-way sword. You can use it to make, and you can use it to destroy. So why don't we guide our youth towards making it a good tool for them to contribute to the economy? Government signed agreement with us.
Okay.
Now, if government finds it difficult to meet up with this agreement, let government come out and tell us we have challenges in this area. For instance, you are demanding for 60 million naira. You can only afford 20 million naira, because education is not the only sector that we need to spend on. Other sectors too are begging for spending. So let the government be that open. Very personal team. Okay, on these scooters, let government say why they are not going to use scooters. Why must it be IPPIS? So government should need to talk and get Nigerians behind them, because ASU is passing by fighting for a legitimate demand, and the government cannot just afford to just keep things quiet. And like I mentioned, it's because of the political thing. That's why, because for instance now, the Minister for Labor and Productivity wants to become the president of the country. So you can see he's very engaged in that, in trying to get his party's ticket at the primaries next month. So he is more busy with politics rather than solving that labor crisis with us. So that's the problem that we're having.
Another challenge we have in the country is the rising debt profile, which is a ticking time bomb. How can Nigeria navigate this crisis?
Look, for me, it's a bad omen for the economy. Just we are looking at the budget, the 2022 budget. The 2022 budget, if you know the amount of money that is servicing debt, it runs into trillion. That trillion could have been better utilized in building the infrastructures. Not only that, the government had a very palatable experience with Sukuk. Sukuk offers a very reliable, formidable, and responsible tool for government to galvanize, to motivate income for itself. Look at what is being done in the works, in the building of works and infrastructures. It is because of the Sukuk. The government should utilize the Sukuk rather than going for the Eurobond. The Eurobond is interest-based, and all the little we are getting from income, from oil, we use it to service debt. And it's affecting, the growth of the economy. It's affecting the development in the economy, because, it's a problem that will be difficult for us to get out of. It's a problem, and it's affecting everybody, because if the government cannot deliver on infrastructure, tell me what's going to happen. If you go to hospitals, if government cannot fund education, they cannot fund health, they cannot fund defense, tell me what's going to happen to the rest of Nigeria. So I want to advise the government to turn away from interest-based loans. They should rather consider Sukuk. Sukuk has had a very good scorecard for the economy. So let government go into that, and it will be best for all of us.
Yeah, Sukuk is the best option for achieving infrastructure development for any nation, particularly Nigeria. So what is your message? What is your message to Nigerians, especially the political class, as we enter into election season? So, and how can we achieve national cohesion?
Well, you see, it's a responsibility of every one of us, both those that are voting and those who are being voted for, because it's a vicious circle. So we need to be more patriotic in the way we look at it. Let us make sure we vote for those who will have our best interests at heart, not just for those who are able to bribe us. We should have the best people at the ends of our ears, and we should eschew tribalism. Tribalism has never borne any good for this country. We are all human beings that have been brought to our differences and to live by it. To be tolerant, we should be tolerant of one another. No tribe, no nation can do it alone. You need the support of other nations. No tribe can do it alone. You need the support of other tribes. So, and poverty in this country has no religion, has no tribe, has no race. Poverty is the same thing everywhere. So whoever is going to direct the affairs of Nigeria must be patriotic and then be humane in the way they do things. Hearing that if you govern well, the nation will do its best for you, family, and generation.
To achieve a national cohesion, we need to support each other, to love one another, to be patriotic, and also we need good governance from our leaders. Thank you so much, Professor Tajudeen, for speaking to us on the Islamic Finance Weekly today. We appreciate your intervention. Have a nice day.
Bye.
The key word is national cohesion, and as we build up to the conclusion of the Ramadan fast, we thank the Almighty for His mercies on our lives and family. As the month of Ramadan beckons and ushers in the political season in Nigeria, we urge politicians, religious leaders, financial market leaders, business leaders, the women and youth to rise above ethnic and religious sentiment to push for national cohesion. We have only one country, Nigeria, and we have a responsibility to make it a better place that works for everyone. And that will be all for this week's episode. Log on to poshare.co to read more on Islamic finance. Watch the Islamic Finance Weekly videos on Web TV banking channel. You can as well follow us on our social media platform displaying on the screen. This is wishing all our viewers a happy Eid al-Fitr in advance. Many thanks for watching. See you next week Friday for another episode. Bye.